let me introduce to you this cleaning and maintenance process. First, let's take a look at some parts that need to be cleaned. So here's the first one. The seat below, which needs to be cleaned. Then the runner also needs to be cleaned. These two things then include these covers, and the nozzles need to be cleaned. And then this thing. Generally, it is easier to clean. Just soak it in banana oil, or soak it in a solvent, and then brush the surface. This cleaning is relatively easy. Then this thing. When cleaning this thing, you can use this. We usually send the opportunity to match this tube brush. Then soak in banana oil. Then enter through this entrance, because this hole is longer. Then go in and brush back and forth. This brush is mainly used to clean this place. You can go in and brush this thing back and forth, because the pipeline is relatively long, so it's not easy to clean normally. Then you can use this tube brush. Brush this runner inside it. Then this pan plug is also relatively easy, including this thing. This is generally soaked in, just put it in the solvent. And these two seals normally do not need to be removed. Both of them are more corrosion resistant. The dissolvent will not have a chemical reaction with them, so it's soaked in the solvent. There is no problem. These two things can be directly soaked in the solvent for cleaning. And then like this green, the O-ring made of rubber cannot be soaked in the solvent. If soaked in, it will be damaged by corrosion. And I'm going to focus on this nozzle. When cleaning the nozzle, be sure to pay attention and keep it safe. Don't lose it. And if you found this nozzle when you cleaned it, after cleaning, towards the light and then look from above, you can see very bright spots. Then it means that this nozzle has been cleaned. If you can't see the bright spot or just a faint light, it means there are still dirty things inside the nozzle. Then you need to use it at this time. Let's go through this needle. Generally, we have a matching set for this. Use this needle. Take a little bit of it. Be careful when using it. Don't stab yourself. Then we usually use this needle to poke it from the back of the nozzle. As you can see, so it's through, then poke back and forth a few more times. Let this through needle flow smoothly back and forth in this nozzle. This is enough. It means the nozzle has been unblocked. After unblocking, then the front piece is best used by hand, or wipe it with a rag, and then pull it out. At this time, you can check again. The hole here is basically open. You look into the light. You can see a distinct small bright spot. At this time, it means that the nozzle has been cleaned. This is the cleaning process. Then I would tell you again, it is the place where the sealing ring needs to be changed. Usually these two seals don't need to be replaced. Basically, it's not broken. Mainly, if it is worn, one is this pan plug. The pan plug inside the pan plug sleeve. After this thing works for a long time, it will be worn out. Or if there are fillers in your glue, it is also easier to wear out this pan plug. If this thing is replaced, I will explain it to you. As you can see, there are two small holes in the back of this plug, right? Then we can get a needle, then insert it through the two small holes in the back. Insert it and push it out. Push it out slowly. And then push it out. You can see that usually, as long as this thing is not broken, normally, it does not need to be disassembled. If it breaks, it needs to be taken apart. After opening, then throw it away, and replace it with a new one. Mine is not broken, so I put it back on. Then pay attention when installing. This thing has a little taper, and here are some springs. See? You can take a look. There is a difference between this side and this side. This side is a flat surface, then there is one on this side. Round and round, something like a spring. Then when installing, the spring is facing up. Then press it in, and then press it in with your hand. So it can basically be replaced. Then usually because of this thing, we installed it in this place, right? So if this sealing ring is worn, then through the hole below. As I mentioned before, the glue will leak out from the hole below. Okay, if the glue leaks from the hole above, Under normal circumstances, the hole above is leaking. If the glue leaks from the upper hole, it means that your wear and tear is already very serious. You must replace it immediately. Otherwise, the glue will enter the solenoid valve. So it is quite expensive to replace this solenoid valve. So everyone must pay attention. Once these two holes leak air or glue, be sure to replace the seal inside immediately. And in the valve body, you can see that there is also a white pan plug inside the valve body. Inside here, I don't know if you can see it clearly. Inside this valve, then this pan plug is different from the previous one. When dismantling this pan plug, that is, everyone needs to use one, a longer, this M4 screw. Then insert it through this hole, and insert it, then tilt it, then use a little force to pull out. Pull it out diagonally. So it's pulled out. It's also a white pan plug. But these two models are different, so these two sealing rings are not universal. Because its inner diameter is different. If this thing is removed by everyone, it can't be used anymore, even when it's not leaking inside. If you take it apart, then this thing can no longer be used. Please pay attention to this. So after I remove this, I'll replace it with a new one. This is the old one, then this is new. The old one is put aside. Here's a brand new pan plug. Then when loading this thing, be sure to apply some grease. Just put a little grease on it. When installing this before, you'd better also apply some lubricant. I forgot to wipe it just now. When installing this, it's best to apply some lubricant on it. Then press him in from above. If you can't press it in, then you can use this thing. You can use this thing to pat it a little bit. Then press down. Because it is more difficult to press if you press it with your hands. You can find the flatter tool and press it down from the top. Be sure to press it to the bottom. If you don't press it to the bottom, the seal will move inside. In this case, the sealing effect is not good, which will lead to air leakage. Now it has been pressed to the bottom. Then there is this frisbee. There is a sealing ring on the frisbee. We call it the oil seal. Lip oil seal. This thing is almost not worn out. If this sealing ring is worn out once, what does it represent? And I'm just going to give you a sense of how that works. Normally, the cover is screwed on it, right? If this sealing ring is worn out inside the valve body, then you can see that. From this knob, is there a small hole here? It will vent out from here. There will be continuous gas discharged. If this hole is spraying air out, that means that the sealing ring on this frisbee is worn. It needs to be replaced. You can try it yourself. This is to take a needle or use a fingernail. I don't have any nails. And then pick it up. Pick it because this one is soft. After picking it, you can take it off. Then change it to another one. I won't give you a demonstration here. Basically, cleaning and maintenance. That's all I want to say.